I'm Rob Pierce from Pleasant Valley Community Church, and on our bridge team I serve in the recruiting role.
All right. Well, how did you get involved in Mentor Kids?
About 3 years ago, a good friend of mine, Bo Barron, introduced me to the program with his match and invited me to the annual dinner. So we went, learned a lot more about the program, found out I had a lot of friends involved with Mentor Kids I didn't know about. Just kind of hung out with them a little bit, met the staff, and really just it's kind of gone from there. The bridge team, I think the best way to view it is a little mini Mentor Kids within our own congregation. It allows us to know the specific needs of our congregation, take all the work, all the resources that Mentor Kids Kentucky has created, and we really just put it to work within the local needs of our body. It's also a way that Mentor Kids can leverage their time and resources. If they have a trained staff within a local body, that will allow them to concentrate more on the outside folks as well that maybe are not within the church. All the positions on the bridge team are volunteer positions, and the time commitment varies a little bit from month to month. Our bridge team has been together for about 6 months, and so it was a little bit more time intensive in the beginning to get it going and off the ground. But now I'd say we average probably 3 to 4 hours per month. Most of my time as a recruiter is spent making phone calls, follow-up conversations with folks that are interested in participating, a little bit of time doing just some light mailing and things of that nature, but the majority of it is just spent talking with individuals that are interested at church and within the community. Well, I think mentoring has a very clear biblical mandate. You can look at the practical applications with Moses and Joshua. You can even look in the New Testament at Paul and Timothy and see the impact that the mentors had on the mentees, their ministries, their lives. And there's no other way to do that except with one-on-one time spent together. Scripture speaks directly to the role of mentors and to the role of widows and orphans and how we are to care for those. And there aren't many ways that you can very practically apply that scripture in the lives of individuals that need it desperately. So it's a great way not just to talk about our faith, but to put feet under it, to see results, and really just to get our hands dirty in what it means to be a Christian.
Well, how would you encourage others to get their church to have their own bridge team?
I think the best thing that really had an impact on our church was when Mentor Kids came out and they gave a presentation and really showed the need for mentoring. I think it's something a lot of us see, but it's very easily forgotten. When you walk out of a congregation or a meeting, it immediately leaves your mind. But it's great to have a more formal presentation where you understand the need, to know current mentors and the roles that they've had with their mentees, to hear the testimonies, to know exactly what this looks like. Really, I think if the need is brought up and it's a strong congregation, there will automatically be folks that are willing to participate, willing to volunteer. It's not a question of do you need to pray about something like this. It is a biblical mandate, and it's just time to get the folks that are willing to put the time in and make this happen. Most churches, I would think, are very supportive of this. It's a tremendous, tremendous ministry that we've seen do wonders at our church, and there's no reason that it wouldn't be the same at any others too.
What about him doing, like, since this just came up, what do you think about him doing where he looks into the camera and says, would your church be willing to start it? You know what I mean? Kind of more of a pointed thing, like you did with Jacob, or no?
Yeah, we can try it.
Okay. You know what I mean? Like, where you kind of challenge the churches, like, you know, if you're part of a church that doesn't have a bridge team for Mentor Kids, would you, yeah, I don't know what you could say. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? You want to do that?
I'd have to, yeah, I can do it. I'd have to think about what I would say.
I wouldn't necessarily ask a question. I would.
Would you be willing?
Can I call them cowards and non-believers?
No,
would that be okay? All right.
That would not be.
Yeah.
I would say that the best thing is to see the actual mentors and mentees together, to see the matches in action, to see the smiles on the kids' faces. And that's just what we can see on the outside. I have no idea what's happening on the inside, but to know some of the men and women that have had matches long ago and to see the results in the kids' lives as well as in the mentors' lives, I think is what has been the biggest surprise to me, is how much the adults have benefited. In some cases, maybe more so, if not just as much as the mentees have. To see that within our own church and to see that we're actually seeing the fruits of biblical obedience is a huge blessing. You put in the work, you put in the effort, and God promises throughout all of His commands that He will absolutely provide what's needed, and then everything else just flows from that. All the results, all the fruit, to actually see it in action is a tremendous blessing.